Welcome back to Photoshop. In this lesson, we will begin the use of backgrounds and layering images on top of those backgrounds. We'll also have a chance to explore the uses of brushes and adjusting the brush size, and also some parameters that are associated with brushes. The first thing that we need to do is to copy some new images over to your thawed space. And so the way that is going to work is to open up a couple of computer windows like we've been doing. You'll want to have your thawed space on one side and look for your name, and there's mine. And then you'll want to open up over on Drivebe and then navigate over to the current year. And then look for the folder called Backgrounds. And within that folder, you want to look for Junior High 2016, JH 2016 Backgrounds. And that is the folder that you need to copy over to your computer. And once again, you can right-click and click Copy. And then come over to Thawed Space and right-click Paste. And if you're real careful, you can click that with your left mouse button and carefully hold and drag. Carefully. Now I've already copied it, so I don't need to do that again. So go ahead and pause the video and get that done, and then once you finish that, go ahead and open that folder and take a look at some of the beautiful backgrounds that we will be using for this project. Once you've copied those and had a chance to look at them, go ahead and close Drivebe. And once again, as a review, when you're previewing images, you can change your options right here to either have a list view, detail view, or some really large icons. There's a nice way to look at the pictures, get a quick view of what we have to work with here. And then let's go ahead and open Photoshop. And I'll go ahead and close that picture. And let's open up a new picture. I'm going to go ahead and start with the lake. There we have it, a nice view of Tule Lake. And like always, we duplicate the image before we start making any changes. So, image, duplicate. We're going to keep the same name with the word copy after it. Click OK and put away the original. Next up, we're going to learn how to go ahead and blur the background. And we're going to do that because this image will be used as a background. We will layer other images on top of it. And so the main effect we want to get is using it as a background and showing all of the texture and the colors and the beautiful scenery. And so for our purposes, having this picture not in focus will serve us well. And that'll become apparent as we go through the lesson. Take a look over on the left. All of our tools. There's our selection or move tool. And there's the crop tool that we used in our previous lessons. And so let's scroll on down here and look for this one, the blur tool. Now if you right click that, you'll see three options that pop up, and we're going to start with blur. So select blur. And you want to make sure that caps lock is not on. If caps lock is on, you're going to have this cross. And we don't want that. So make sure caps lock is off so you get a nice circle. Now your circle might be a lot smaller. You might have something that looks like this. And so the way that you can enlarge that or make it smaller is to come up here on the taskbar or the options bar, and right here, this tells you the brush size and the type of brush that you're using. So what we want to do at this point is go ahead and set that size, and notice that it's larger as I scroll that. So I'm going to set that at about 300. That's showing you right there, 300 pixels. And then the hardness, we're going to put that all the way to the left at 0. And we'll talk more about this a little bit later. And then we can just come and click out here to turn off that option. Now, the other thing we want to look at here is the strength of the brush. And this would be an indication of how much pressure, or in this case, how much blur we're going to add to the picture. So we're going to go ahead and just crank this all the way up to 100. We really want to blur this out. Keep the mode normal. And then what we're going to do is click the left mouse button and paint across this image. And everywhere we paint, you will see that it's starting to blur the image. And so I'm just going to kind of scrub over this. And we're just going to get kind of a nice blurry background image now. Now, each time I click the mouse, we can add more blur and scrub through that. And so once you've reached the amount of blur you want, we can stop. And there we go. We've got ourselves a nice blurry background. I'm going to go back to my Move tool. I'm going to do a Save As. Now there's that Tule Lake Vista 1 copy. And then I'm going to put blur and save that. There we go. So to complete this lesson, go ahead and blur about 5 more images and get those saved into your thought space. And then in the next video, we will start placing additional layers on top of these pictures, and we will use the erase tool and resize images to place them within these different landscapes.